Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Tina. Can you believe it? It's September. I can believe it's September. I feel like I've been looking forward to September for a while. August ended up being a really busy month for me, which is great, right? It's great to be busy. I had a lot of fun things that I did. Insert some awesome clips of some of the things I did in August here.
The missed boat entered the river.
But my goodness, was it expensive and tiring. And frankly, I am ready for a little bit of a quieter life. I'm ready to read more and ready to be in the house a little bit more, and I'm ready for the weather to cool down. So in this video, I am sharing my August reading wrap up. I ended up finishing 10 books and I ended the month really well. The beginning of the month was such a struggle. I did not finish a book, I think, until August 11th, 12th, something like that, which for me is no good for the mental health. It's no good for trying to read for the YouTube channel or the podcast, but we got there in the end. So in this video, I will be sharing my August reads from least favorite to most favorite, my August screenshots, as well as my August empties. So let's get into it. All right, so going from least favorite to most favorite, unfortunately, least favorite was The Good Samaritan by Tony Helene. I gave this one 3 stars out of 5. It was fine. I really did think it was going to be this thriller, because like with the cover, I thought it was going to be about this professor who finds a little boy and gets entangled in things. And it is sort of about that because you do follow this professor and he runs into this teenager who ends up running away from him. And it introduces this really interesting concept slash law called the Good Samaritan law, wherein if you try and help in a situation and you end up making it worse, you could be held liable. So that's sort of what the professor is getting into in this book. What I didn't like about it was it read less like a thriller and more like contemporary fiction. It was more of an issues book, I think. And I appreciate what the author had to say about a lot of things, such as the foster care system, such as being an alcoholic, but it just it wasn't that fun to read. And I did, though, discover my new favorite way of annotating. I love this. This helps me so much when I'm reading. It might look like a big old mess to you because it kind of is, but it helps me a lot when I'm reading, but then also when I'm processing for my content. But anyway, what I do here is I write down all of the characters. So all these people on this side are the characters. So that's a lot. I write down the time period, the location. I write down my thoughts, sort of I'm going, what I liked, what I didn't like. And then at the bottom, I put themes in there. Do I recommend it? It's okay. I didn't hate it. It wasn't poorly written, but I don't think I recommend it. I just don't think it did anything that unusual or interesting for you to prioritize it. Next is Women Seated, and I don't even know what to say about this book. So this book, what is it about? It is about a caretaker who ends up abducting her charge because she wants to blackmail his very wealthy family. But while she and her boyfriend are taking him, the family has this massive fall from grace, like get embroiled in this scandal. And, the wife of the one of the moms or the wife ends up going on the run. It's this whole thing. So yes, it's definitely rich people behaving badly. This was a little bit too literary for my taste. I did finish it. I did like what it had to say about the haves versus the have-nots. I loved that situation that this person was put in because she's this morally gray character that's doing a bad thing, but I'm kind of like, am I rooting for her? Just didn't understand it very much. I also did not understand the ending. So if you've read this and you do understand the ending, let me know what was with the clown. Overall, I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars, and I don't particularly recommend it. Every Step She Takes by Alison Cochrane is a tough one because in theory, I liked it. I just didn't love it like I thought I would. I've read Alison Cochrane several times before. I really loved her book. Here We Go Again, 5 stars. I also loved The Charm Offensive. I DNF'd her book, Kiss Her Once for Me. So I'm sort of somewhere in the middle with this one. I gave it 3.5 stars. It is about these women who go on a trip on the Camino del Santiago in Portugal. And it's, they're walking for many, many miles a day. The woman on the airplane named Sadie she didn't realize she was going on this queer trip because she is taking her sister's place because her sister gets injured. And so her sister gives up her place. She ends up connecting with this woman, Mal, on the plane who is wealthy and has her own secrets and demons, of course. And the two hit it off while they are on this walk. It's a coming of age story, of coming into your own and into your sexuality later in life. I loved that. I don't know that I bought their relationship. There wasn't as much chemistry as I think I like to see. Not that I love like romance in general, but it was just okay for me. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I do recommend it, especially if you like sapphic stories. This one did really give me wanderlust though, so I very much appreciated that aspect of it. I want to walk on the Camino myself, but overall I think it was not my favorite of hers, put it that way. This one, Twisted Fate by Xia Zhang, is a book in translation that I do recommend. This one I thought was really interesting. Oh man, this is very much a good for her type story. Obviously, it's a thriller. It's about this woman who is fleeing a situation. You eventually find out what it is, and she takes the train out and she's headed to Seoul. She's trying to get to Seoul because she really wants to disappear and wants to run away from her life. But on the train, she ends up running into this other woman who is a single mom, and the woman leaves her baby in her care and disappears. What? But before she left, she told her that she was headed to her in-laws' house, and basically she leaves this woman a note that says, hey, please take care of my baby or take him to my in-laws. I'm fleeing, whatever. And so the woman decides to do that. And when she gets there, they mistake her for the daughter-in-law. So she decides to stay. Wow. Did this one go off the rails at the end in a really, really satisfying way? I love the women in this story. I love how this came together. There were so many twists and turns. And I swear to you, just when I was like, okay, I see where this is going, the author would throw something else in. So I do recommend this one. I ended up giving it 4.25 stars. Another one I gave 4.25 stars is Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. And I thought this one was just so flipping satisfying. This one is the one that I credit with getting me out of a reading slump because it is about this woman named Lottie, who is a serial killer. She thought her killing days were behind her. And basically she ended up killing a lot of people when she's younger, but now she's an elderly woman and doesn't have time for such things. She's more concerned with her church and, showing appearances. She ends up having this woman come to her door, and the woman's like, hey, she's producing this true crime documentary and wants to interview Lottie about her crimes. And Lottie's like, yeah, obviously I'm not doing it. And so she decides that she might come out of retirement for one more kill. I loved this. I really did. Maybe it's higher than 4.25. I don't know, but I highly recommend it, especially if you like books that are sort of like You by Caroline Kepnes, where it's like that you're in the mind of a psychopath, but you kind of like them and they're a little bit charming. That's what I got with this one. I just kept thinking there's no way Lottie is going to get out of this one. There's no way. Yet she manages to. So highly recommend this. Thought it was a riot. Next is one I would give the superlative of the biggest surprise of the month because I was not expecting to love this like I did. It's The Bewitching by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This one, I think why I wasn't expecting to love it because the synopsis is kind of boring, frankly, because it's just about three women, right, that are connected by generations and there's a mystery. And I was like, okay, I don't know about this, but let me try and do a better job of selling it to you. Yes, you are following three generations. And it did take me a minute to figure out where you're going. 1908 in Mexico, and you're following Alba. You are in the 1930s at a university, and you're following this group of three women. And then you're in 1998. You're following Minerva. Minerva is a professor, or she's actually a graduate student, and her grandmother is Alba. And so she has grown up her entire life knowing about witches, and she is writing her thesis on female horror authors. She ends up becoming obsessed with this woman named Beatrice, and it turns out Beatrice's most famous novel was based on a true story. And so this book flashes in between all three point of view. I thought it did a really good job of keeping things straight, keeping the reader interested, and giving you just enough in each of the storylines to really get excited. Now, what I like about this one is that witchcraft is real. There are real witches, but you have to read to figure out they use this witchcraft and what they're doing and all of that. I just thought this one was so entertaining, so interesting, and I was really intrigued. This book is perfect for fall. I think if you want a good segue, and I think this one has wide appeal too. I think if you like historical fiction, you'd like this. I think if you like fantasy, I think if you even like horror, you would enjoy all of those aspects because they're all kind of rolled into one. One very much read like a present day novel with glimpses of the past. And some of the people who lived in the past make an appearance many years later, now they're elderly. Really loved this. Also, the ending is a slam dunk. So I give this one, maybe I should rank this higher, but oh yeah, I'm going backwards. Makes sense. So I gave this one 4.5 stars. Oh my gosh, this next one was such a fun time. It is The Dead Husband Cookbook. This one, I had no expectations going in, and frankly, I wasn't going to read it just because I was like, I feel like I know what's going to happen with this one. But boy, was I entertained because what I didn't realize is that it's about this editor. I've read a lot of books this year about ghostwriters or editors, but it's about this editor who basically needs a big win to get her career back on track. And it's, you find out why she's sort of being blacklisted. And I really liked that aspect. But she needs a big win and she gets hired to work on one of the most famous cookbook authors in America's cookbook, next book. And it's not a cookbook, it is her memoir. And it's going to be a tell-all because this woman is notorious because her husband disappeared decades earlier under mysterious circumstances. And people think that she killed him and took over his business and stole his recipes. So our main character essentially has to live with this woman for some weeks in order to write her story. This was so satisfying. I can't say more. It's diabolical. It's so good. I loved the ending. I was just so intrigued. And like, you might find it a little bit slow in the beginning. I didn't, but I loved the incorporation of this woman's story, the chef's story, because she will share recipes, but she'll call the recipe, for example, the dead husband's meatballs or this or that. And she sort of, they'll give you what happened in the past as she's telling the story via her memoir, and then she'll connect it with a recipe. I thought it was fantastic. Really enjoyed the audio. Highly recommend. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Another one I gave 4.5 stars is If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. This is my first James Baldwin, and I am shocked it took me this long to read him. This one, I'm sure you know what it's about, but it is about this couple named, what are they called? Fanny and Tish. Fanny and, yeah, Tish and Fanny. And Tish and Fanny are in love. They're 19 and 20 years old, and the book opens with Tish visiting Fanny in jail. He has been in prison for a crime he did not commit. And also Tish is pregnant. And this is their love story. And it's their story of his family and her and what they have to sacrifice to try and get him released. This one is just so devastating. It's infuriating. But I just thought this was gorgeous. And the writing is so lyrical. I did the audio of this one. Highly recommend that you consume it on audio because the audiobook narrator is Bonnie Turpin, one of my faves. She did an incredible job. This book's also funny. It's not hopeful, but it could be hopeful in some spots, but I just thought it was just a really, really solidly told classic story. One of my time favorite books is right here. I don't know if you can see it, but An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. And I'm shocked I haven't read this yet because obviously Tayari was heavily influenced by this, but it was incredible. The only reason I didn't give it a full 5-star is because I'm somebody who loves an epilogue. I want you to tell me everything. I want to see the characters 50 years from now and know how they ended up. And you don't quite get full, that robust of an ending with this. And I could have used more, but still solidly written. Highly recommend. 4.5 stars. This next book, get on your radar now. It was fantastic. I'm still thinking about it. It's Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cashino. Talk about deranged women. Okay. This is about Margot. She is at the end of her rope. She has been trying to get her dream home with her husband for 18 months. They've lost 11 bidding wars and they're house hunting in the oversaturated Washington, D.C. market. She then gets an in from a friend of a friend who hears about this house that's going on the market. She decides to mosey her way over there, visits, and decides, oh my God, this place is incredible. This is our dream home. We need to have it. And then decides that she will stop at nothing to get it. I can't tell you how satisfying this book is. I was gagging with how uncomfortable I was. The things that this woman did, I was like, there's no way would I ever be brave enough to do it, but also good for her. I loved this book so much. I think it's a flawless thriller. I really do. I don't say that often. Might it be my favorite thriller of the year so far? I think it is. It is fabulous. The only bad part is it's out until November. I think November 25th, I want to say. But get this on your radar now. I'm linking it below as I'm linking all of my books. You've got to pre-order this or put your holds in. It is a 5-star reading experience. Another book that I implore you to get on your radar is Dominion by Addie Kitchens. I couldn't love this book more if I tried. I need a physical copy immediately. I'm calling this book one of the messiest books that I've read this year. It is about the Winfrey family, and they are the first family of this neighborhood. The father is the lead of this congregation. Everyone in the community are churchgoers. and it follows Reverend Winfrey and his wife Priscilla and their 5 sons. But more specifically, it follows their youngest son, Wonder Boy. He is the best in everything. He's the best athlete. He can sing, etc. And Wonder Boy is dating Diamond, who comes from the other side of the tracks. And Priscilla is not happy about this, but she'll let it slide if she has to, as long as they stay in line. This book is about the patriarchy. This book is about the things that people do to keep up appearances. This book absolutely broke my heart in many ways. It also made me laugh. It also shocked me. I already want to reread it. This one has, I think, like under 100 reviews on Goodreads right now, which is crazy. This is a debut. Pick this up now. It's honestly so good, so very worth it, and I want more people to read it. All right, so let's get into some empties. You guys are going to laugh at me. And if you listen to my podcast, I talked about this last week. It is a pure aqua sparkling water. You can get this from Aldi. And my co-host Hannah was like, oh, is this like LaCroix? No, I hate LaCroix. I don't like it. Miss me with that. This is a sparkling water, but it has a lot of flavor. It's like that clearly Canadian. You know what I mean? If you ever had that, it's like bubbly water, but I've been obsessed with drinking this. I drink one a day. And at night, I like put it in a wine glass. I'll put a little fruit in there. It's just an elite experience. So definitely get your hands on some of that. This is my number one favorite foundation. Technically, it's a CC cream. It's It Cosmetics, and it's Your Skin But Better CC Plus Illumination. You have to get the CC Plus Illumination if you want this sort of dewy glow. I like a glow. And this has SPF 50 in here. It's supposedly anti-aging. It's color correcting, full coverage. I just put this on with my hands, and I'm really sad that this is out. This is pricey. I get it from Ulta. I tend to use my points, but it's something like $40-something for this, but it lasts a really long time. My summer color is 30W, and I love this stuff. I love it so much. I'm really sad it's out. I have like 1 or 2 pumps in here, but I highly, highly recommend it if you put stuff on your face. Another thing I will be repurchasing, and you can't judge me for how dirty this is, it is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I use this in a while, and basically if I know I'm going to be out all day or if I'm going to be out in the heat, I will use this. It makes your foundation stick to your face, essentially. I have a sensory thing, and if something is too sticky, I'm not going to like it. I thought this was the perfect amount of grip, and it makes your foundation glide on really well. So I will be repurchasing this. It's also a great price. It's not more than $10. Lastly, what I have is this empty box here, and this is the Clean Towel Club, Clean Towels XL. I'm sorry, it's from the Clean Skin Club, and it's an empty box. But what these are facial towels. Do you need them? No, you probably don't. I do think it's wasteful, but I wanted to try them. I got them from really cheap on Prime Day a year or so ago. And what it does is when you wash your face, at the end of it, what are you doing? You're grabbing a towel that's probably been sitting there and wiping your face off. This offers an alternative. I really like them. You know, they don't leave the little bits that could be on if you're using certain cotton products. These did not do that. I can't get on board though, because it is wasteful and bad for the environment, but I did like them. So do with that what you will. All right, lastly, we're into our screenshots for August. Something that I screenshot was the Booker Prize list. So I had a moment there where I was excited. I was like, you know what, maybe I should read through the Booker list this year. And then I sort of looked closer at the titles and I'm like, no, I don't think they're really exciting me that much. And I know if I made myself, probably wouldn't finish, but I was really excited about it. That actually they came out end of July. This has been a really great quick recipe that we have put together. We've eaten this twice in the month of August. It was this post. I don't even know who this person is. It says, I'm not a superhero, but I do always keep ramen in the pantry, Japanese barbecue sauce in the fridge, and veggies in the freezer so I can add protein and knock out my kids' favorite stir fry for when I'm fresh out of ideas for dinner after work. I co-sign that completely. We made that twice, and my kids have been really into ramen, and it's been great because they eat their vegetables then. Another creator I've been loving is What Nestle Read. I follow her on, I think it's TikTok. I've just really enjoyed her stuff. I have this screenshot here of a book called Happy Bad by Delaney Nolan. And it's a moving display of human connection in the face of violence and climate destruction from a remarkable new voice in fiction. This one comes out on October 14th. I also have this screenshot here from Well Done Books, and he said that this is the best book he's read in so many years, and he won't stop thinking about it for a long time. It's called Absence. So I was like, obviously, like, let me have that book. I want to read it. I see a lot of this. Michaela Thomas Fit, been my favorite comfort creator these days. She makes these high protein, lower calorie lunches, and she has a lot of recipe ideas that I have been loving. So I have a lot of just random screenshots of her food. Ooh, I forgot about this. This is why I like to do this. So this is a screenshot from TikTok. It's the podcast called Hoaxed. My absolute favorite on this list, absolutely unbelievable. An investigation into one of the most insane and destructive conspiracy theories in the UK now. Alexi Monstrous is so talented. You will be hooked with how he brings you into the investigation. I felt like I was there. I got to remember to download that. A screenshot of the Retrieval season 2. Have you guys listened to this podcast? If you are a woman who has had a C-section, you've got to listen to this. I listened to this on our drive home from Buffalo. I was weeping. It's about how a certain percentage of women feel their C-section when it's happening. And I had a really traumatic one, and it just really, really spoke to me. That was such a fabulous podcast. Of course, I have a lot of outfit ideas from the sister studio. She's so cute. She puts together some great outfits. I also really like Better with Chardonnay. I love her outfits as well. I feel like they're really accessible. And then, of course, my favorite app, Focus Friend. Oh, there's my girls. My angels. But my favorite app, Focus Friend. Have you guys downloaded it? It's Hank Green's app. It's incredible. And anyway, I think I will end the video there. Thank you so much for being here. That was my August. It was wild and crazy. I am so excited for what September reading brings. I think I will do a fall video of books that I plan to read this fall. So look out for that coming soon. Don't forget to like this video, leave me a comment, tell me your favorite book you read in August, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But I will see you in my next video. Bye.